All right, I think we're going to go ahead and get started. Everybody will be muted during the presentation. And if you have any questions, please feel free to type those in the Q&A chat box at the bottom. And we will reserve time at the end of the session to address any of those questions. And if we need time to look into any answers, we will get your email information, and then we will get you some answers as soon as we can. So good afternoon and welcome, and thank you for joining me today as we talk about the digital roadmap journey that you are on or looking to explore with us. I am Gail Mayo. I'm a business development analyst for IDEA, and I have with me today Jana Aro, an account development analyst. She will be assisting me throughout the presentation. Again, the chat box, Q&A box is at the bottom if you want to send any questions, and I'll save time at the end to address those. IDEA was formed over 20 years ago by NEMA, the National Electrical Manufacturers Association, and NAED, the National Association for Electrical Distributors. In fact, we are still owned by NEMA and NAED, and our board of directors are equally represented by manufacturers and distributors. While we started out as a way to facilitate and trade data for the electrical industry, we have evolved into a comprehensive e-commerce data exchange MDM platform with two significant product offerings for our customers. IDEA Connector, our next generation master data management platform, which allows you to securely and accurately share product information from one source, and IDEA Exchange, or EDI, that provides digital integration services between trading partners. So now let's talk about how you can connect the dots. Information overload. We all have it. Am I right? The questions surrounding all that data. What do I need? Where do I get it from? And what do I do with it? It's often overwhelming and sometimes undefined, but the end goal is always the same: having high quality, informative product data. I think it's important for us to talk about how quality, informative product data is defined. I researched several websites, and resoundingly, the same characteristics kept coming up. Accuracy. Is your data free of errors? Is it accurate information? Does the data convey the right details for the item? Timeliness and relevance. How up to date is the information? Is it stale? Could it be used in real-time reporting? Completeness and comprehensiveness. Is the data clear and understandable? Is it required? Are there gaps in the data which could lead to misunderstanding the information? In this side-by-side comparison, it's clear how having accurate, reliable, and complete product content can not only enhance a product's details, but also help the customer really relate to the item, its features, and understand exactly what they are viewing. Reliability and consistency. Is the data reliable, or could it be contradicted by another source? An example is that you have a product image loaded, but your website displays a different image. Or perhaps you're missing a valuable SDS sheet that is available online to be downloaded. Legitimacy and validity. This can be a tough one. There could be various departments that determine the quality and validity of your data. There could be governing boundaries on the data. Some questions to ask yourself might be, how recently was the data collected? What's our internal review process to ensure that the data is kept up to date? Does it need some type of governance? And if so, how do we handle that? An example for that might be a date at the bottom of a spec sheet or a rev number on a line drawing, and having items current product page displaying correctly. Granularity and uniqueness. There should be some level of granularity to help define sufficient uniqueness or distinctive properties to the data. Think about when you compare items on a website. In this example, a manufacturer has listed some unique characteristics for two very similar catalog numbers. Those unique properties were then sent to Idea Connector, which their distributor has then extracted and used to display on their website. All those factors help the consumer make an informed decision. That is why identifying even a slightly unique or different value can be so important. And finally, availability and accessibility. Is the data available to your end user? If you have it online, we want it in Connector. This helps ensure your distributor has all the information available to them in one place. Using Idea Connector's authorization repository can help you ensure that you are not missing out on opportunities to partner with your distributors. We have multiple options. Our distributors means more product exposure, which means more revenue to you. That's why all of this is so important. We live in a digital world. We shop online, we buy things without touching them or physically even seeing them sometimes. We rely on what we see online to guide us in that choice. Your product descriptions and attributes of an item aside, being able to really see what an item might look like or what it might do, or read about its features and benefits for that matter, are all how your customer can make an informed decision and connect the dots. Brianna Roller from Southwire had this to say about the value they've found in quality digital assets and marketing content.
Southwire feels that the online experience is crucial to a good customer experience. We want to ensure our distributors are empowered with all the content possible to provide that best-in-class customer experience. Southwire has put a huge emphasis on creating digital assets that showcase the benefits of using our products. Why wouldn't we want our distributors to be able to pass along the value propositions in the same way we are, by using the content to tell a story? It's a win-win for everybody. Customers are now shopping differently. With COVID-19, not all customers can go into a showroom and see a product up close. Digital assets round out the experience to help showcase a project and help the customer ultimately make a decision on a purchase.
Thank you, Jonna. As I read Brianna's quote and Southwire's belief in why this is so important to them, a few things stood out to me. Online experience is crucial. Empowering their distributors, best in class, make a decision to purchase. Wow, these are some impactful statements, and really define the value Southwire has placed on having quality digital assets and marketing content. And this goes beyond a basic image and spec sheet. We're talking about video clips, product brochures, seller-defined keywords. Those are the very things people use when they search online for something. Line drawings, warranty details, and that's just a small set of all of the available options Idea Connector has to offer. Additionally, Idea's own Dina Barrett, who has over 2 decades in the digital marketing and merchandising space, had this to offer.
Quality digital assets are critical in selling online products. The best way to sell products online is by giving the customer the most immersive experience of a product, despite their inability to touch and feel a product. Products are extremely difficult to sell without visual product images at the very least.
Thank you, Jonna. So by now you're starting to have a better understanding as to why informative digital assets and product data content is so important. And Idea Connector is here to help you. Did you know Idea Connector has 100 asset URL types, 100 and growing. These are the URL fields, like multiple image displays, that can provide both valuable and informative information about your product. Multiple image types and views, videos, drawings, brochures, manuals, and warranty links, just to name a few. There are a lot of digital media offerings you could be missing out on. A full list of all of our asset types can be found in our data dictionary. And if you have something we don't have listed, yeah, you guessed it, we still want it. Just let us know and we will look to add a field so that you can continue to grow your product data set even more. Certification agency fields. These fields are constantly growing. We recently went from 32 to 62 different agency listings you can now load to your product data. Think about Prop 65 or a UL listing, for example. These fields can be referenced both within your transactional data as well as your product-specific attributes. That's a double bonus to convey the information to your customers. 15 plus text type fields. This is a free form field that allows you to place even more value added details to your end user. It includes things like marketing bullet points, concise marketing statements that call out specific product features. These are often the same features and benefits you may be listing on your website for the item. Seller defined keywords. Those very key search words or phrases we've all used when surfing the web or looking for something. Some other options might include a marketing message, a general product policy, a warranty description, or even shipping information. Idea Connector has multi-language options. We have 184 language content loading options. 184. Who even knew there were that many options available? We have options in multiple fields where you can add varying languages, which can help reach a bigger and broader customer base. A few of those being an invoice, catalog, or label description, or those seller-defined keywords we just spoke about. Product relationship types allow you to identify a replacement or superseded item, multiple associated items, as well as listing multiple substitute or even upsell items. This is a great way to help your customers find exactly what they are looking for and offering them all of the options that they might not be aware of. These are just a small listing of some of the things we have. Our data dictionary will help you identify all of the possibilities for loading digital and marketing assets. And we continue to expand those options constantly based on your needs. So now let's take a look at some of our product numbers. Here is a glimpse of Idea Connector asset numbers as of March of this year. Over 2.5 million SKUs exist in Connector. 3 million plus images. And I should point out that there are multiple image views that can be added. 4 billion, yes, billion product-specific attributes are downloaded yearly. Remember that granularity and uniqueness reference I made earlier? That's what we're talking about. And to take those numbers one step further, these Idea company numbers are also as of March of this year. Now, let's be honest, that is a lot of brand representation and distributor locations served. And those are some impressive sales numbers, and we are still driving towards more distributor channels, more manufacturers, and yes, you guessed it, more opportunities to grow your business and continually enhance and add quality as well as quantity product data content and digital assets. So now you have an understanding of what is considered quality informative product data and why it is so important. But you may be asking yourself, well, what do the distributors do with all this data? Well, I'd like you to take a quick poll and let's see if we can find out that answer.
Do you know what your trading partners do with your product content and digital assets? Please choose yes or no here.
Has everyone had a chance to take the quick poll?
Okay, it looks like the results are in. We have 51% that say yes and 49% that say no.
Thank you guys for taking that short poll. And wow, that's like literally 50-50, right? I mean, half of you really know what your trading partners are doing with that product data and digital assets, and the other half of you may or may not know what your distributors are doing with it. But that's what we're here to talk about, right? Connecting the dots. So let's talk about what those distributors are doing with that content. Here is what Ben Merritt from Kendall Electric had to say about idea connector data and how Kendall utilizes the content.
We take automated weekly extracts of the attributed data from Idea Connector. The files are dropped in our PIM, where the data gets collated with our product file based on UPC. The data gets used to help our customers find products via faceted search, drill downs, and also provides them all with specifications, details they want to see at the product detail level.
Thank you, Jonna. So using Idea Connector data feeds, Kendall updates their website, which in turn helps their customers find the products they need using searches. Think about keywords, and the drill downs, think about attributes, right to the product level. Distributors use your product data to update their ERP and PIM systems, load and update their websites, and update their warehouse management systems. This is crucial to building sales for you and for them. If product data content is vague or inaccurate, it could lead to misquotes, wrong orders, project delays, and unhappy customers, to name a few. Grasping the value placed on quality informative product data content is becoming much clearer. But creating or finding that product data may come with some hurdles. Now, I spoke with two different experts who have had that experience and shared this. Andrew Morrison from Southwire had this to share about some of their hurdles.
We have a great graphic design team that helps shoot product photography, create infographics, and other digital assets for our products. To fill in asset gaps within IDEA, I check our company's DAM systems and work with graphic design to create any new assets that we are missing content for. I have also found pulling a B7 digital media extract incredibly helpful when I'm looking to see what we currently have in IDEA.
Wow, what a great collaboration they've implemented. And Dina Barrett, in her prior role with a prominent manufacturer in the industry, had this to share.
Start by working with your product development team to prioritize needs. For example, if product photos are a priority, coordinate with your team and other departments to determine who will own and manage product photography and work together to reach that objective.
Thank you again. So prioritizing the needs and then working together as a team, they were able to solve another hurdle that they had. Well, how can IDEA help you? IDEA Connector offers digital asset hosting. This means you can send us your marketing materials and we will provide a secured FTP server URL to you that you can load to Idea Connector. This is a value-added service, and perhaps if you have minimal internal resources available, a great way to start getting your marketing URLs created. In January, we launched the Idea Professional Data Services team, a team of industry experts who can help you load and format your data to Idea Connector using your data files or a raw data file, the same one you might be using to load to your website. We review the data and look for all the opportunities to add as many fields as possible to Idea Connector. Last year, also in conjunction with the launch of Idea Connector, we introduced our learning portal, a comprehensive training library that puts the tools at your fingertips. We have documented processes and videos and have made the ability for you to load your product content even more user-friendly. NAED, the National Electrical Association for Electrical Distributors, and a preferred Idea partner, has a variety of tools available as well to help. They have valuable research information at your fingertips online. They offer many networking events. They have an educational, industry-specific learning environment and marketing data program, which can help you analyze your own data in the electrical market. We want to think past the limits. There are no limits. I started today talking about information overload, and I realize that you may have just experienced that again. But this information is vital to your distributors and your continued growth in the industry. So I'm going to leave you with a final thought that I am taking away from the impactful statement that Southwire made earlier.
Why wouldn't we want our distributors to be able to pass along the value propositions in the same way we are, by using this content to tell the story?
I think this statement really should make us think. Why wouldn't we? Why wouldn't we want to provide all of the values, all the benefits, and all the resources of the content? So I'm going to ask you, what is your why? Thank you. Thank you, everybody, for joining me today as we talked about connecting the dots. I hope that you found your time well spent, the information informative, and that you're perhaps taking away a new idea, a new approach, or maybe an aha moment that you could share within your organization. I really do appreciate your time. And in the coming days, you're going to receive an email from us with information how you can access this recording so that you can share it with other members in your department or in your organization. And we'll include a little survey in there as well. So at this time, I'm going to ask Jana to look at the Q&A box and ask if anyone has any questions. Please type them in the box and let's see if we can get some answers.
Okay, we do have a question. How does Idea Connector work with attributed standards like ETIM?
So Idea Connector does have an ETIM field. It's in your transactional data, and you can load ETIM values as well on a template we have. It's called FB9. So you can send your ETIM codes and attributes on the templates, and you can load that through all of your normal process that you're updating today, whether you're loading flat files or an XML, or you have a direct feed. You would just need to secure the mapping for that. There's also some resources in the learning portal on ETIM. And I think some of that was just updated recently. And if you can't find it, please let us know, because we are happy to send out a copy or give you some more information on that as well.
Thank you. We do have another question here. In your experience, how often do electrical distributors use UPC as the key versus SKU?
I'm sorry, John, was that a distributor uses it?
That's what they're asking. How often does
Okay.
an electrical distributor uses the UPC, I guess, is the key versus a SKU?
I I would have to say that's probably user specific. Most distributors are going to map their data in on those two key fields that you just said, a UPC and a catalog, both which need to be unique, right? You couldn't possibly have the same catalog number apply to two different UPCs or vice versa, have two UPCs apply, or the same UPC apply to two different catalog numbers. That wouldn't convey accuracy, and I would question how you would handle an order like that. So a distributor is always going to look for the most unique fields. So a UPC and a catalog number would be those. Now, there are instances, depending upon the type of product, where UPC is not required. So I think it's a great question. And I think I'm making a note that we should maybe survey the distributors a little bit and find out what field they value more. But if you have a custom or made to order item, you wouldn't require UPC. And in that particular instance, they would build off of that catalog number. So I'm going to say that it's mostly user specific, but I would bet that they're going off of the product ID, which is generally the UPC number.
Thank you. We do have another question. Can Idea Connector be connected digitally to our own systems to automatically feed and product photography? I think they mean, yeah, the data feed and product photography.
That is something I think that we are exploring. And I would welcome you to send me an email with an example. Jonna, can you maybe put my email address in the Q&A box for everyone?
Yeah, and we certainly
yeah.
can get back to him as well with some more additional information.
Yeah. Yep, that would be great. Yeah, we are working on one-to-one relationships for loading product content, and that would include that. Right now, if you were looking to have Idea host any images for you, you would want to reach out to the client solutions team. A lot of times what we can do is create a folder in the FTP, and you can drop that information in there, and then we can harvest it out of that FTP folder and create the links. And then either you can load it or we can load it.
We do have another question coming in, and it says, which do distributors use more? Bulleted marketing information or a complete paragraph? Should we load both?
Yes.
Will they? And the question was also, will they get duplicated on a distributor's site, on their website?
So we can't necessarily control how the distributor is mapping the information to their website, but they have custom mapping extracts that they can do. And those are two different text type codes. So a marketing bullet point has one type of text code, whereas a paragraph, let's say, similar to your long catalog description, would have a different text type code. And then they are able to pull both of those fields. And even if some of the information were repetitive, on a website, that information can be in two different places. So they can definitely pull both resources, and they can definitely map both resources to different areas if they choose to. Again, we can't control what they're sending where or how they're setting up their website, or if their website has that capability. But as far as picking and choosing what to load, I would load everything. So at the end of the day, when you look at an item, if you're looking at an item on your company's website, to me, you want it to mirror as much as possible on that distributor website, because that relationship the distributor has with that end user is what you want to give them the experience of, and you want the information to match. So I would load both and encourage the distributor to also load both on their side.
Thank you. I do not see any additional questions. We want to give it another few
Yeah,
minutes.
let's give it another minute, to see if anybody has any additional questions coming up. And if you have any suggestions, you know, again, I just want to encourage everyone, if there's something you have content wise and you're not sure what to do with it or where to put it, the first resource is going to be that learning portal and looking at the data dictionary, because we've really defined all of the fields available. But if you're struggling with where to put something, please don't hesitate to reach out to the client solutions team. And Jonna, can you, I apologize, but can you throw the client solutions team email address in the Q&A box too? So just in case somebody doesn't have that. So if you have some product content, and you're just not sure where to put it, please reach out. We'll help you find an existing field, or we will investigate adding a new field. You know, we're always looking to expand the product content. You know, the standards, the URLs going from 32 to 62 on standards, we did that in a month. So, you know, that's always changing. And even in that regard, if there's something you have a certification agency type that doesn't exist, please submit a change request form, and we will look to get it added as fast as possible so that you can keep sending even more information to us. Did any other questions come in, Jonna?
There are no other questions at this time.
Fantastic. All right. Well, I'm going to say thank you again to everybody that joined today. I hope that if you do have any questions, you can email me directly. You can email the team, reach out to us. We're here for you. And we look forward to doing this again with some other fun content that we want to share out. So have a great afternoon, everyone.